woke up today with too much info. Apparently, the New York Post has decided to share to me the fact that AOC is going to freeze her eggs. Yeah, like she posted this. And the question is like, why the hell do I care? But there is an image of her with a very accusatory, finger pointing. Don't be weird about this. Why? Why shouldn't I be weird about this? Like, you started it. Oh, I know that we live in a society where we believe women can't do wrong things, but no, you are actually doing a wrong thing right now. You are performing a medical procedure that should be a private affair, and you're putting it on the internet. Why? Why are you doing this? Like, why do you have the need to show yourself freezing your eggs? And secondly, why are you acting like the mascot of Big Pharma? Last time I checked, you're a politician, right? You're not a paid actor in order to appear in publicity events, which this one looks to be. And also, I find it interesting how the mainstream media isn't pointing out that a lot of individuals are claiming that the footage is AI. Like, yeah, I know, sure, like doubting that politicians are sacred beings and everything they post is the absolute truth is heresy, and we call that a conspiracy theory. But in reality, we do live in 2026, and AI footages can be made very easily. In fact, like some politicians have already made AI footage. And looking at it, yeah, it kind of does look like AI. I mean, it's got all of the hallmarks. So first of all, one of the things that AI does is it eliminates things from the background. And so if you see a lot of white walls, it's because when the AI adds things to the background, sometimes they look wrong. So like if you zoom in on a painting or you zoom in on a newspaper or anything that has writing, you immediately notice the artifacts. And so the people that are making AI, they decided in order to fix this, just like have as many white walls as possible, right? Like as little objects on the room as possible. And then her facial features, like I'm not going to lie, they don't look like AOC does. It looks like an AI representation. But regardless of the case, right, it was still posted on her account. So AI, or whether this is herself, who knows? But the question is like, why would she do it? And she says it's empowering. Like, what exactly is empowering? Are you like Popeye, the sailor man that ate his spinach? Like, what the fuck is powerful about freezing your eggs? Like, can you explain to me, like, what sort of power is it? Like, are you going to win at arm wrestling if you use this power? Huh? Like, does it make you more intelligent, more competitive? Like, what is empowering? I don't see where the power is. Like, leftists like to state, this is empowering. No, it's not. It's not empowering. And by the way, there are statistics which now shows that people like AOC on her age, like how much is she? Like 40 years or something? But anyway, like middle-aged women, like 40-year-old women, for the first time in history, are having more kids than teenagers. And people were celebrating. And it's like, no, this is not the reason for celebration. Like, I'm sorry, but the Anglosphere and their fucking brain rot culture has traumatized teenagers into not having kids. This is not a good thing. Like, having a kid when you're 40, just like, understand what this means, right? First of all, I'm not even going to talk about the increased rates of autism and other genetic abnormalities, because the later you have a kid, the more likely it is that they do have, like, these genetic abnormalities. But let's look at it. You have a kid when you're 40, right? By the time the child is 20, you're 60. So just like think about it, right? Like there are chances you actually could get sick and die before your kid is 20, and you're also depriving them of grandparents. This is another thing that the Anglosphere does. It's like for some reason the grandparents are just out of the picture. They don't exist. And then they wonder, it's like, oh my goodness, how can you raise 2 kids? Well, you're supposed to have 4. 4 grandparents is what you're supposed to have. And usually, like, those grandparents also are supposed to have, like, brothers and sisters. So, like, you should have, like, a huge community that would actually raise your kid. But if you choose to have a kid at 40, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. And not to mention, the idea of, like, teenagers having kids is now something that society just flat out doesn't allow. Because what a kid should do, right, if you actually get a kid to do apprenticeship, right? Like, let's say you have a company that would take children as young as 12 to do apprenticeship rather than schooling. No, that's child labor. That's horrible. That needs to be cracked down on. So instead what we do, we send the kid to school where we institutionalize him, and he has to spend there 8 hours a day. He comes home. He needs to spend 4 more hours a day studying for various exams. So like 10, 12 hours is how much a kid actually puts in effort in working, right, studying. And we do that all the way up until he is 20-something-ish, right? Because you still want him to go to a university then. And only then can they get a job. And so, like, think about what this means. If you have one kid in a developed world, by the time the kid is 20, he's still like a child. You still have to pay for him. You have to pay for his gas. You have to pay for his electricity. You have to pay for his rent. You have to pay for him to go out and fuck a bitch, even though he's not planning to get married. And you have to constantly pay, right? Of course, like, one child is a crippling expense. Meanwhile, in a medieval society, not even a medieval society, 200 years ago, a parent would have a kid. By the age of 12, he is an economic asset. He's actually producing wealth. He's working on the farm. He's helping daddy make battles. He's working in a factory. He's doing some shit, right? Now, of course, we're looking at that and we think child abuse, which is fair enough. But here's the question. How can you have a welfare-based society where you don't produce kids so that they can produce the taxes required for the next generation? Like, eventually, the thing that we're doing might be more humane, but it's not sustainable. Like, reality just doesn't give a shit about morality, right? Like, reality is reality. If you have kids at the age of 40, it's not a good thing. And if every single family has one child, eventually, the system collapses. In a couple of generations, the system collapses. If every single human being has one child, in order to have, like, the engineers and the electricians and the physicians required to maintain the power plants, to maintain the nuclear reactors, to maintain the infrastructure, then you run out of electricity, right? And then once you run out of electricity, your entire digital banking, your internet, all of those shit go down. But, you know, hopefully it's not going to happen in my timeline. But still, no, like, freezing your eggs is not empowering. It is an option. But it doesn't make you powerful. And it's not something that you should actually tell the masses to do. No. Teenagers should have kids, right? Like, teenagers should actually marry, again. Teenagers should marry other teenagers, and they should have kids early. And we as a society should figure out how to make that happen again. Because this is actually the trend throughout the entire human history. We haven't rediscovered the wheel in the last 40 years or so, right? We're doing it wrong. We're trying something new. It's time to audit if what we're trying is actually working and is actually sustainable. I don't think it is. I think the way our ancestors have done everything up until now across the planet is probably the correct thing in this regard. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, we'll see each other in the comment section. Take care.